Hi, this is Katie Young.
This is Josh Rucker.
This is The Wealth Effect, where we talk about business, community,
personal development, and financial pathology.
We're actually traveling today.
We're on the move, man. We're on the move. We are headed to the prison right now, doing our outreach program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We go we just started this week. We're supposed to go twice a week.
Yeah.
One time during the week and then one time on the weekend to our juvenile prison program, where we go in prisons and teach financial literacy.
Yeah.
It's a very exciting time. I enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah.
I was just meeting with the guy who pretty much founded the program last night, and not the financial literacy program, but the prison program.
Yeah, the prison program.
And he was telling me, he's like, "You gonna be there tomorrow?" I said, "Absolutely."
Absolutely.
Because it's needed, and you know, I'm in education. I'm a teacher, soon to be. I'm an educational leader as well, but soon to be in the principal world, assistant principal world. Soon, not yet, but I got about another 6 or 7 months left before I'm official.
Yeah. It's already
official,
done.
not even official, but until I finish my program.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is we talked about the prison on part one of this.
On part one, we did.
Now we have talked about the pipeline.
Right.
And the pipeline is fed every single day.
Every day, man.
Matter of fact, almost every hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I laugh, but it's not even laughable, man. And it's done so strategically and I say malicious because it's targeted.
It is.
It's targeted.
It's not a reason why African Americans make up 13% of this country, and the minorities make up 65% of the prison system. It's not by when you have that many people going to prison, it's not by accident.
That disparity just can't be happenstance.
Yeah, and people always say, I said this on the last one, conspiracy. Look, man, a conspiracy is only one until you meet it.
Right.
Like,
right. Like when you got the facts right there looking you in the face, like
or when you got people like us that's driving to, the prison to do our program, and we like, bro, like most of our students are represent us.
Right.
Like
exactly.
our students,
they look like us.
Yeah, but we're going to prison to do it. Not saying that in the classroom, but understand the prison, the pipeline part. It starts essentially in third grade.
Yeah, it starts in the classroom.
Where you have minorities getting in more trouble. For things that they generally just being a kid.
Yeah, just being a kid.
Like I literally had a student get in trouble the other day. It was a while back. It was years ago. But get in trouble for just being a kid.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing anything outside of being a kid. But because generally the color of his skin, his or her skin, stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And we can't keep ignoring it and saying that, man, it's a problem with the students, they disrespectful. It's one thing to be disrespectful. It's one thing to be sent to jail.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Like once I guess childish behavior becomes, I guess, socially criminalized.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's done.
That's
it's
amazing.
done. You're already there. I'll tell you this, man. I was almost caught up in the system because they wanted to label me as, and that's really essentially how it's done.
That's how it begins.
It's labels.
It always begins with creating a problem. You create the problem with labels.
Create the problem with labels. Oh, he's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
He's a troublemaker. He's a class clown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need to put him on some medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, my family, they wasn't going for that. Okay. Like they wasn't going to sign off at all. But blessed I am, to have those family members or whatever.
Absolutely.
that, that have those principles or whatever. It's like, no, he's not, ADD or ADHD or hyper, whatever,
That may be.
It might be.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid.
Absolutely.
He's in second grade.
Yeah.
He's not going to sit there for 8 hours and not talk.
You know what? And I'm saying this from a therapist standpoint. Look, I am not a licensed therapist, but I did go to school to get my master's in social work.
Yeah.
I didn't finish, but I was like 80 to 90% done.
Yeah.
If you look up the symptoms that they have for ADHD.
Oh yeah.
It's directly correlated with being a kid.
I'm reading them because, okay, so I went to school for psychology, for counseling and psychology until I switched for IO psych. But when I was taking my abnormal psych class, I went and bought a DSM-4. I'm looking at the cardinal symptoms for ADHD. I'm like, oh dear God, anybody under 12 is going to be ADHD. Oh my God, like
fidgeting in the seat,
fidgeting in your seat, hyperactivity, man. Anybody who has kids knows that kids have unlimited amount of energy.
They do.
Like, I don't know where they get it from.
And look, I want to say this. I'm not, because it's some kids who really, 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 really absolutely got it.
Yeah.
And when you see those kids, you know they have
those
it.
kids are different.
It's a whole different, but the diagnosis that's being pushed, it always starts with a little nudge. And I want y'all to hear this nudge. Because it almost happened to my son.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember this vividly when it started happening. I said, no, not today.
Not today.
And my son is 7 years old, so it happened to him when he was in kindergarten.
Exactly.
When he was in kindergarten, I taught my son how to read early. Mm-hmm. He already knew his numbers. He knew his shapes, all that. And so I think I probably told this on the last podcast, but my son, and not bragging on him, but he is a smart kid. Mm-hmm. And so when he was in kindergarten, if you're not challenging his mind, of course he's going to get up and move.
Exactly.
Of course he's going to blurt out answers.
Yeah.
Because he know the answer.
I know it, right.
Of course he's not going to be sitting down. Of course he's not going to pay attention because what you're teaching is not teaching him.
Right. It's not engaging at all.
So the teacher, to remain nameless, the first nudge she gave him was she kept on documenting his behavior and giving him sad faces and making, look, the
building
one thing,
a small paper trail.
Well, the one thing that feeds this pipeline is when our children lose confidence within themselves. So you kill their confidence first.
Yep. So, oh, that's key. That's key on a psychological level. Like, okay, so I always say, the best decision I could have ever made in life was to believe in myself. The absolute best thing I ever did. Once you have that once you tap into that power,
it's a whole different level, man.
You have unlimited possibilities. Just imagine the reverse of that.
Absolutely. You take it all away.
You take everything away. Now you can dictate their future, and they're helpless.
So
they're handcuffed.
you strip the confidence first. So she was doing that, stripping the confidence. Yeah. He was like, he always came home, Daddy, I did bad today. And look, when you start to tell when kids start to believe that they bad, that belief triggers it triggers other behaviors.
Yeah.
Because then they start to correlate their behavior with being bad, when really their behavior is just them being curious or inquisitive.
Yeah.
But you're calling it bad.
You're calling it bad.
So they like, is it bad?
It's labels, man.
So
labels.
It started with the nudges. He got the behavior issues. So he was a bad child.
Yeah.
And then this was the part where I was like, man, we pulling him. Like, we got to get him out. And thank God for his mom too. She kept up track with this too.
Yeah.
What happened next? Once they start to document, because they have to build a file. Once they build the file, then they start referring your kids or the kid to services.
Yeah, specialists.
Know this: special ed students get paid. You get more money in education for special needs students than you do for regular students. And so the nudges started to happen. It started to be, well, maybe he need to be in special ed.
Yeah.
Now look, I want you to hear the logic with this. My son is reading on the first or second grade level in kindergarten. And you're sending him to special needs.
To do what? I mean, why?
You sending him to special needs. So because you sending him to special needs, you're then teaching him that, dang, I need extra help. And look, if a kid needs those services, they need them.
You're right.
But when kids don't, they don't. But they typically start putting the children from the third grade to prison pipeline. They start to put them in special needs.
Yeah.
It's a correlation. Look, all this stuff has been researched.
Yeah.
It's not anything that's not true. Like, you can literally go look at research, manuals, journals, everything, and the correlations are all there.
Yeah.
So then they tried to put my son in special needs. Why the next day, whenever his it was a lady who came from Gifted and Talented. She the Gifted and Talent program at the school.
Yeah.
The very next day, she came in and started asking about bats. But Carson loved learning.
Yeah.
So he was like bats and nocturnal
Yeah.
as a kindergarten.
As a kindergartner. Yeah.
You know, he going through all this, and the lady from Gifted and Talented was like, we don't start Gifted and Talented until 3rd grade here, but he probably needs to be in there.
Yeah.
So how do you have one woman putting him in Gifted and Talented, and another woman saying he got special needs?
Right. Somebody got some explaining to do.
A lot of it. So, needless to say, he didn't get in Gifted and Talented because, of course, his teacher was saying that she was dropping those things again, saying that he's a hyper student.
Yeah, he's hyper.
He doesn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
What kindergarten does listen?
How old was this teacher? At the time?
She was a vet.
Oh, she was a vet.
She was a vet. I think she's been doing this for years.
Man.
This is just one teacher.
This is one teacher at one school
that's been doing this for years.
Man.
And look, I'm unapologetically like, this is what's going on. So then, once we went through all those phases, we got him moved out the class. Needless to say, we moved him schools, and now at school he's the star student. Like, he's a student that the teachers like. We need more courses.
Man, I'm sitting here, man. I can feel it, man. It's draining. Because I'm thinking this is one teacher at one school
that does this.
Let's just say that she's been teaching for 20 years, bro. Okay, no, let's cut it down. Let's just say 10 years.
And if she had 10 Carsons come through her class every year. If she had 10 Carsons.
That's 100 people, bro.
And
generationally in a system.
Generationally, then you pass that down again.
And you pass that down again.
Because then,
it multiplies.
Those kids have children, and typically once you start in that cycle, those young minority or black or Latino boys, then grow up, and they grow up in prison. So now my dad is in prison.
My dad is in prison,
and the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, the magnitude of just one teacher at one school. This is one class.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This.
I mean, I'm laughing to stop crying because.
Yeah, man. Like, this is not even. Oh man.
Imagine the kids who don't have their father or their mother to stand
say,
up for them.
Hey, no,
or to even know that the prisoner pipeline
exists.
Like, imagine those parents out there who just believe in it. Like they like
just go with whatever.
And look,
because they know best.
And look, I'm not saying by any means, because I'm a teacher too. So I'm not saying by any means that kids do everything right. I'm saying that the system that's done to send the kids
right. If this reminds me of a quote by Albert Einstein. He said, I'm going to paraphrase, but he said, if you judge a fish by how well it can climb a tree, it'll never, or
I know the quote you're talking about.
Yeah, it'll never.
They'll never be able to do the task.
Yeah, it'll never be able to do it. It'll never know how well it can swim.
Because you want to climb a tree.
Because you're gauging them on something it's not even meant to do.
Yeah, happens all the time. So that's all before 3rd grade though.
This is all before 3rd grade. Exactly.
So then we got to look at continue down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Then you have kids getting those programs by 3rd grade. They've already been documented within the school system as a problem child.
They're labeled. Yeah.
So now every school they go to, they got those records and the documents. It follows the kids. And some schools don't want to send them, but some parents try to request not to send them, but it follows them.
Yeah.
And so you can then look at the trajectory of 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. Almost, this is the other sad part. The dropout rates, you can look at those and you can see.
By 6th grade, like,
it's coming.
It's done.
It's coming. Like you're more likely gonna be in prison.
Exactly. Just based off the system. Like, once you understand the system, you can make those projections. Like,